workshop for Sephora Venites that we're going to look at is how to create this image on the left. The second, we will look at how to create this image on the right. So the first thing we need to do is open up a new file. So we're going to go into Photoshop, File New, and ideally you want it A4 or it can be A3. Obviously that's the size you're working to if you're printing out and popping it in a book. A4 works just as well at this point in time. So if you can't see it in your recent items, you're going to go into Print, and then they should be there. If not, you can click View All Presets and you will be able to find it. Again, you can change the orientation of your paper depending on the look that you're going for. I am going to keep mine portrait and then hit create, and I have a new blank canvas here. Now what you should have ready is about 3 to 4 portrait images that you are then going to layer on top of each other. So I am going to start, I've got mine here just on the right hand side. I am going to start with this one here. I'm going to click and drag it in. You can go through File, Open, etc., but it's so much easier just to click and drag it in. Again, if you cannot see the bounding box, like what you can see here, which will allow us to not only just move, but we can then resize the image so it takes up the full space, then you will have to make sure that Show Transform Controls at the top is ticked. If it's not ticked, the box disappears. When it's ticked, you can see that and you can make those adjustments. So I'm not really doing anything on this layer. It is a smart layer at the minute. You can see that by having the little picture of the layer, and then you've got the little icon down here. So it means if I try to cut out anything in this layer, it's not going to cut. I will be able to copy sections, which is all I really want to do, but I don't want to modify my background layer in any way, so it's fine leaving it like so. I am then going to start with my first image that I'm going to take and cut out some features. Again, we'll pop that in there. It's a really nice clear photograph. Again, however, this is a smart layer, so we actually need to make this just a normal layer. And the way in which we're going to do that is select all, or Command A. We're then going to copy, so you can do Edit Copy, or you can do Command C, and then you can do Command V, or you can do Edit Paste, and it does the same job. So you're able to see the difference between these two layers here. You can see one is just a normal layer, and then this one being the smart layer. So I can now go and delete that. I can't really do anything with it. And I'm going to work on my layer one. Now the areas that I want to copy, you can use this marquee tool. So we don't want to cut out anything, we just want to copy and paste, so that if I ever want to go back and recopy sections, we can, and it's not altered the kind of background image in any way. So it's going to be the marquee tool, and it's on the left hand side in this toolbar. You can see if you click and hold it down, you can change the shape of these. So it can be rectangular, it can be elliptical, you can do a single row horizontal, you can do a single line vertical. Over and above that, you can create your own shapes. So if you click and hold down the lasso tool, you have lasso tool, and that allows you to drag and kind of create any shape. Just like that. If you have the polygonal lasso, it is a lot more geometric in that you can create those points, and really that's all you kind of need at the minute. What I am going to do, I'm going to do the elliptical and say I want to grab a portion of my model's eye. Again, you can decide how much you can see within the kind of dashed frame here, what sections are going to be copied. So I have the area that I want. And again, all I'm going to do is Edit, Copy, or Command C, and then Edit, Paste. Now it looks as if nothing's happened there. However, if I take away the little eye icon here, so I make this layer invisible, you can see that all that is left now is this one here. So again, I might want to make that a little bit bigger. I might want to rotate and pop that up so it's slightly kind of off center. And again, any actions that you make, so any adjustments that you make, you need to make sure you kind of finish that action off. So whether if you look to the top bar up here, you can see if you want to cancel the changes that you've made, or if you want to confirm the transform. So you can either tick, you can click the tick rather, or you can hit enter, and it kind of finishes that action, and then you can move on to the next. So what it means, because I have just copied that section there, nothing has happened to my original image. I can keep copying bits and pieces of that image without having to kind of copy or paste anything in. So I'm happy with how that looks for the time being. I am then going to drag in this one, black and white. Again, hit enter, and I am going to use the rectangular marquee. Again, you can just click and hold it in and say I want to take this section off our mouth. So I've selected that area. I'm going to do Command C or edit copy, Command V, edit paste, and I can see here I now have my section. Again, to complete your action, you can just hit enter. So again, you can layer as many images up as you wish. What's sometimes nice is if you kind of heighten the saturation of some colours, if you perhaps desaturate some layers. I'll show you that in a little minute. So we'll make that a little bit smaller, so it looks slightly off. One eye slightly higher than another. And again, obviously you can add more and more layers, so it is perhaps a little bit more similar to this image that we have here. Again, it's really nice if you have some that are quite dramatic colours, some like this one here that are a little bit desaturated. So in order to do that, you need to make sure that you're on the correct layer. So I'm just going to drag these layers out that I don't need anymore. You can leave them in, you can just turn off the visibility, and you can see I have my left eye, I have my mouth, and then I have my right eye. So say I want to heighten the contrast in my mouth here. As long as you've got that layer selected and highlighted, I can then play around with the contrast. I might want to experiment a little with the curves. Again, typically if you're using curves, you want it to be quite a soft S shape. So if I'm dragging it down here, I'm emphasising my highlights. If I'm dragging it up, it's emphasising my lowlights. Now what you should have noticed is that any of these changes I have made, they have applied to every layer underneath it, which is not what we want. So the only layer I want my brightness and contrast and my curves to apply to is my mouth. So I'm going to take away the visibility of everything else, and the only thing I'm left with is my actual mouth layer here, my brightness contrast layer, and my curves, and I now want to merge those. So in order to do that, you are going to go to layer. Again, make sure that nothing else is visible apart from what you want to combine and flatten. So we're going to go to layer, and then we're going to go to merge visible, and then we have it all on one layer. So now if I show these layers again, you can see that that has happened there. Same again, so say I want to desaturate this eye. I am then going to go to my adjustments. Again, if you cannot see the adjustments above your layer channel, then you can go to window and you can just click that there and it should pop up. So say I want to desaturate this eye here, so I'm removing a little bit of the colour, but I'm not changing it to black and white. I can go to hue saturation, and I can take that saturation down. But again, as you can see, it is either saturating completely, playing about with the colours here, or desaturating every single one of my layers, which is not what I'm after. So again, what I'm going to do, don't need that there, I am going to turn off the visibility in all of these layers. So the only two I can see are going to be the eye that I want to desaturate, and then the actual effect itself. And again, you're just going to go to layer, merge visible. I have accidentally, don't do what I've done, I've accidentally kept my background visible, so I can undo that. If you do Command and Z, take my background layer off, I can merge it again. So layer, merge visible, and again that is just one layer. So I've got these 4 layers here, so you can see I've got my 2 with the normal green colouring, one that's slightly desaturated, and one's obviously black and white. So again, any changes that you make sure that you merge with the layer that you want that to apply to, and that you're taking visibility away from the layer that you don't, if that makes sense. So again, you can play about with the positioning. You might want to make it so it's even upside down, so just dragging it from one side to the other. You can make upside down. These are things that you can play about with, so it's really exaggerated like the style of our artist.